Welcome back to the Remedial Film Class Podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
And I'm Travis.
And I'm George.
Hey, George, question for you.
Yeah.
How old are you right now?
34 years old.
Great, because
Wait,
I
you were
hear
34
they're
when we started.
I was 32 when we started.
Oh, okay.
the ageless George. George, I hear they are casting the sequel to Halloween, and they need high school boys. And so it sounds like you'd be perfect.
Yeah.
We watched Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. George, are you happy to see your old friend Mikey?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been
You assigned me 1 and 2 and 4
Yes.
to watch this week, right?
yes. Did you do the Sandman or did you do the original?
No. Do I even have Sandman?
I gave you all three.
Okay. I don't know where Sandman is.
It's right underneath the part 2. Oh no, it's above it. It's the black one.
Okay,
right there.
doesn't matter.
Watch it.
I
someday.
watched the first one
Mm-hmm.
with much nostalgia.
Oh, yeah. No, it's wonderful.
It's always there.
It's a
It's
good
always
movie.
there for you.
It's a great movie. It's a great rewatch. What a fantastic movie.
And then.
And then.
No, and then.
And then I said, okay, now I have to watch 2. And I was like, I know what happens in 2. And then I just watched 4.
You know what? You made the right choice.
Did you at least know that he blows up at the end?
Yeah, I
Okay, so
I
you
remember.
knew why he was burned.
I'm like, hey,
That's all you
I
needed to
know
know.
all about 2. I'll just watch 4.
It wouldn't be Dan without him telling you to watch a 2-hour movie just to find out the guy burned.
It's true. Hey, Travis, did you end up rewatching 1 and 2 this week, or what was your plan?
I kind of watched recaps of 1 and 2. I watch 1 a lot, so I don't really need to rewatch that. 2, I just watched the Sandman Edition maybe 2 months ago, so I just kind of recapped it and then watched 4 last night.
The Sandman
Come on.
Cut it refers to a fan cut that exists that splices the two together into one long movie.
Using the TV
adding in all the
extras
TV
stuff, yeah,
scenes too, which is just, it's bizarre.
Yes. But worth it.
When you get to the middle, and there's this little musical transition to kind of let you know, like, hey, we're switching to part 2 now. All of a
Little
sudden, Michael
intermission
Myers'
music.
head is like bulbous for some reason. Like,
yeah,
it's
it's
really
inflated.
strange side by side.
Yeah.
And there's a
It's
distinct
okay.
like quality drop off, but it is a fun way to watch it. So if you have a chance to check that out and you've already seen 1 and 2,
Yes.
go for it.
It shouldn't be your first one.
Should not be your first watch, at least for the first Halloween. If it's your first watch of Halloween 2, so be it.
Yeah. And there's no Halloween 3 in there at all.
Oh,
Womp womp.
Remind me what happens to Jamie Lee Curtis at the end of 2.
She just kind of hides behind the bed or the gurney while he comes walking out on fire, and then he falls to the ground. And then she has like I can't remember the character in part 3 of Friday the 13th where they put her in the ambulance next to her boyfriend or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They put Jamie Lee Curtis in the back of the ambulance, and it ends with Mr. Sandman, and they get driven away, and then you don't find out anything after that. Is that right?
yep, yeah, that's pretty. I mean,
Okay.
that's she's
Okay. And
she's
then
okay.
Apparently she died.
Exactly.
Right.
So we start this movie, and there's a little girl, and supposedly her mom is Jamie Lee Curtis. What's Jamie Lee Curtis's name?
Laurie
Laurie Strode. So apparently the little girl's mother is Laurie, and she's dead.
Thank goodness for the security guard officer exposition right at the beginning of the movie to really catch you up on what's going on, because
Yes, that's true.
there's a lot of exposition right off the top.
Yes.
A lot.
But you have to remember 1988, right? It's been 6 years or so since a true like Michael Myers-y Halloween movie, so they want to catch up their audience who's been sitting through Freddy movies and Jason movies every year.
Right. They kind of did the recap for the guy that brought his girlfriend or whatever to the movie, and she has no idea who Laurie Strode is. I didn't mind that so much.
To be fair, I don't know that anyone would know who Laurie Strode was any better by the end of that discussion than coming in. It's not great. But I like the actor that plays the security guard. You see him and stuff all the time. One of those like recognizable faces.
Very Silence of the Lambs in the beginning.
Why do you say that?
Just the whole going to the belly of the psych ward.
Yeah.
Deeper and deeper. It was almost like
Yeah.
who's the security guard in Silence?
Oh, like Barney.
Barney. Like I was expecting to see him at the
Barney's
end of the
way
hallway.
more likable than this guy.
Yeah.
Well, it's because they
Oh,
looked
this
at
guy's
this
not
guy and
likable.
they were like, hey, you know, it would be good if you made that guy but likable.
But yeah, he was like your expose guy.
This guy's more like the boss of the ward in in
Chilton?
Silence. Yeah,
He's
Chilton,
kind
the
of
real
like a carnival
slimy,
barker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a
Yeah.
little extreme.
Could have been played by our friend Buscemi,
Buscemi.
friend of the
Yes.
show.
Friend of the show.
Handsome bastard.
I kind of chuckled a little bit when the one EMT started taking his blood pressure. And I'm like, what's she doing? Like, he's hooked up to a machine. His blood pressure's right on the friggin' machine. And then his arm flops out. I'm like, why is this guy not tied up? Why is he not
Dude,
chained up?
I had so many questions. Like, here's the biggest question: why were they moving him to begin with?
State
For what
didn't
reason?
want to financially support him anymore, I guess.
They were.
I don't know.
It was something to do with the federal regulations, but they never really
Right.
got too far into the weeds as to why.
And since when did Smith's Grove become like why would he be going back to Smith's Grove? Like, isn't that just like a low security mental hospital?
I don't know.
Maybe they've
details.
upped the security since the massacre.
Well,
Okay.
obviously they haven't.
There's 4 bodies. Yeah.
Oh,
I've seen
God.
6 bodies.
Did you count them all? Wait, it was almost like a Tommy Lee Jones moment in The Fugitive. He's like, go catch the fish that ate him. Like, Pleasance Loomis became that character. He's like, I want you to go down there and catch the fish that ate him.
So, George, I
true.
want to take your temperature a couple of times through the movie. So you're a few minutes in, you've had exposition, you've got an ambulance full of dead people, and Donald Pleasance is back and kind of scarred up.
Yeah, with blood all over the outside of the ambulance.
Are you liking the
Why?
movie at this point? Like, where are
No.
you?
Not at all, actually.
You didn't like the thumb in the forehead?
No.
Oh, that was awesome.
No. No, my Michael Myers kills people with knives.
What I did like, I'm going back to 12-year-old me when I was
Yeah.
watching this. I liked the Frankensteinish way they did Michael Myers in the beginning with the face gauze. And
Yeah, that was cool.
And when he's laying there dead, basically not moving, and then he hears the one woman say, when he's like, does he have any next to kin? She's like, a niece. And you just see his finger. He just starts making a fist like, oh, okay, it's on. Like, to me, I was like, okay, he has a trigger. That's his trigger. He hears he has family, and he's going to wake up.
I didn't even
And then the
notice
thumb
that.
to the head was great.
I didn't notice that.
So
But
Jason.
I'm opposed to the way he was like ripping people's faces off with his hand
Mm-hmm.
and with his hands through the
Well, he
entire
had nothing
movie.
else. Although he has proven he
Dude.
can use a scalpel and do plenty. He can pick up a nurse with a scalpel.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. He can impale you on a shotgun.
yes, he can.
I mean, that's a pretty cool scene. You have to admit, like, when he's holding the shotgun almost correctly, you were like, oh, God, is he going to
Yeah.
shoot somebody?
He looked like his name was Hoss.
Yeah. Oh, my God. The Jasonification of Michael Myers by this point is just, they're almost indistinguishable in their actions
true.
by now. And it's a shame
It's true.
because up until now, you could, draw that line. But now, this Michael Myers is just Jason.
But they didn't. They wanted that when they hired George P. Wilbur to play Michael Myers. They went with the slow, huge, hulking.
I was waiting
Stunt
for
man.
Michael Myers to come after somebody with a weed whacker.
That's coming.
What was that?
A
Friday?
circular
Was that
saw.
Friday 5?
Friday 7.
What does
Friday
Jason have
7.
a tool shed? Where'd he get that brand new
The hell?
Sears reissued circular saw on the end of?
Sears.
Holy shit!
Sears sells Craftsman, Travis.
I'm sorry. They also
well, they
sell
used
names
to.
brand.
Now
Don't they have
look-
name brand? They don't sell anything now.
No, they don't sell anything now. No.
They out of business.
Well, anyways.
Now, I want you to take specific note of the attack at the service station as
Mhm.
kind of an interesting like bridge between what may come. I mean, you think about the attack on the bathroom in H2O that would come later, but like the initial attack in Halloween 1 where he steals the coveralls from the tow truck driver.
And
See,
you
yes.
never see that.
Got
attack.
like the parallel here. They're just giving you a little bit
Yes.
more.
I have a meme related to that scene. I'm gonna send it to you guys.
Okay.
I love
s-
visual stuff on a radio show.
because
It's awesome.
I saw it this week. Actually, we could just read it and you'll know if you've seen the movie. You'll know.
I shot you 6 times.
But I
That's not
saw
what it
this
says.
meme this week, and I thought, "Holy crap!
That is good timing. I did see that this week.
I don't understand this, but I'm about to."
Yeah, Abe Lincoln in Halloween 4. Who knew?
I bet Abe Lincoln had no idea while posing for portraits that he'd also get to be in Halloween 4.
Those are 3 Abe Lincoln pictures.
There's Abe Lincoln pictures all over the wall. For what reason?
And look
Well,
at that
Michael-
scatter, like that very distinct, like covering fist holes kind of like scatter
Yeah.
hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have one of those cool as seen on TV levels.
So, anyways, when this episode airs, I'll post that on the.
Maybe because this is
On
the
the group
scene
so
where
everyone can
Michael
see it.
Myers is free. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's
He's
being
been-
set free.
It's being
Been
set
liberated.
free.
Jeez
Being
Louise.
liberated. Wow.
Oh my god. Yeah. Halloween 4, I'm going to spoil it for our listeners who haven't watched it yet. It's kind of a hot mess. But I don't know that I
yeah.
would say it's bad.
It's awesome because it's a hot mess. Like Nostalgia Travis loves this movie. I know it sucks. It sucked then, but I loved it because it was Michael and he was back.
There's
What and
one
it
thing
pays
about
so
this movie.
much it pays so much homage to the original
Yes.
while giving you basically like all the same beats from the original but like amped up.
It's a hybrid of Michael and Jason, which in 1988 did this come out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what you wanted. You wanted like this hybrid Jason.
Halloween was great,
Michael.
but what if it was like Jason that did all the stuff in Halloween? Let's see what happens.
But they do. Oh, I just Ross. I went up like 9 octaves. They take some
No,
things
it's the character
that
from
were
Beverly Hills Cop.
yeah.
Get the
Hills
fuck
guy. What's his
out.
name?
Get the fuck out of here. Surge.
Surge. No, I will not get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out
I just saw that this morning.
They took a lot of things that you like about Myers and they amp it up, like the Ben Tramer moment where the guys are wearing the mask
Mm-hmm.
and you see the one Michael, then the 2, and then the 3, and then they're
Yeah,
like,
and you're like, oh, what the heck?
you know it's not him, but then they pull the mask off and it's like a Cobra Kai moment. We're like, oh, they almost got you.
Or like a Scooby Doo.
Yeah. But it was like, that kind of stuff was cool because, again, if you go back to our Halloween episode, I did that and I almost got arrested.
Yes, that's true.
So this movie is the movie that inspired me to almost get arrested.
That's so funny.
That mask, though. Oof.
It's not the
No.
worst mask you'll see in the
It's
series.
It's not the
Oh,
worst
man.
mask, but it was. I remember Don Post put out that mask, and it looked okay for that time. The one they put in the stores looked 10 times better than the one in the movie, which never made sense to me.
Mm.
But it yellowed very quickly. So
There was one part where it was kind of like the mask in the shadow, and like Mike Myers has like an expression on the mask,
right, and he's like, "Hey, yeah, baby."
and I'm like, what the? How does it? The mask?
It's supposed to be expressionless.
Yeah, I'm like, what? What are they doing there? What is that?
Hmm.
It was one of those things where I was like, did I just see him smirk a bit?
Well, the first dream sequence where you meet Jamie and she has that moment where she sees Myers.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. That was very poltergeist-ish. Like it had that the whole clown, like all the shadows and you could tell it was like a dream. They did it right.
I couldn't.
Really?
I didn't
When he was,
realize
like,
it. No.
Every time she was in a spot, he was there.
Well, I mean, at the very end of it.
By the time she was in her closet hugging a shoebox, you realized, oh, okay.
Well, the first time the lightning flashed and he was standing there, what did you think of? Because it made Gabe jump, and then I reminded him what it was reminded me of.
The lightning flash? And he was like standing
she
like,
wakes
next
up
to the bed?
and the lightning flashes. He's like right in the corner of the room, and the lightning picks up the white mask and everything. It's before she sees him.
Is it him in the closet?
It's before the closet. You don't know he's in the room. It was like completely the Batman, the Riddler standing behind the mayor. Like it was just, I was like, oh man, I forgot about that. Like it kind of made me. I knew he was in the room, but I forgot about him there. But
that's when he's at his best. Is when he is completely standing still.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, go back to our episode on the first Halloween. Action figure mannequin Michael Myers is the scariest Michael Myers.
Just standing outside the school in front of the station wagon.
Blank face.
Just chilling.
Just standing there.
You could cast an action figure.
You could.
As Michael Myers.
We could make a Halloween butt work using only an action figure, and it would be totally effective.
It would be the scariest Halloween yet.
He doesn't move. And now he's over there. What happened? Portals.
He never kills anybody because he doesn't move.
We should do a Michael Myers fan film where it's a mannequin. Like you can clearly see it's a mannequin, but like Doctor Strange is doing little portals so he can like transport from one spot of the room to the next. Yeah. And then he's standing over there, but he's not moving.
I like it.
Now he's around the corner and behind that bush. How did he get there?
As soon as Halloween 4 does like the perception stuff where it's like, oh, maybe it's her dream, maybe she's connected, maybe she... The 2022 version of me that's seen a million of these movies starts to check out a little bit. I'm just not here for that anymore.
At what point do a connected thing for a while, though?
At what point are they going to reveal that all of this is just Dr. Loomis's fantasy?
They don't.
No.
Probably when Paul Rudd makes an appearance. Yeah, I mean they didn't do the connection, the Tommy Jason connection thing until the very end. Spoiler alert. Like I don't think she was having like the nightmares, but they were kind of doing it in a Freddy type way.
Let's put a pin in that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about that in a little bit, but. So then, hey, vigilante justice after the massacre at the police station. By the way, watching this Michael Myers massacre like 10 cops while they're fighting actively and shooting at him and stuff, that's the coolest scene in a Halloween movie yet.
It's like Terminator.
And they didn't fucking film it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It would have been cool to have like a Terminator enters the police station kind of moment.
Yeah, I mean, really, and the cops in this movie look so much like the cops in Jason 6. I mean, it's like the same set for the police station too.
Yes.
Like I'm waiting for the "you go bang" moment. You bang or whatever.
Bang. Follow the red wherever the red dot goes.
You bang. So good. But at least you get the cool vigilantes in that moment where they're like, you know, you don't have a police force, right? And it's like, oh, they're right. Like,
yeah,
you do now.
Yeah.
It becomes Night of Living Dead.
It was a little
pickup trucks.
I was trying to decide how many of these things were like rational decisions that people made throughout the movie, and so like, and that was one of the decisions when they went from all drinking at the bar to all driving around in a pickup truck with guns. I was like, is this really right? And I was like, no, this is a rational decision. I wish they were more competent.
Yeah.
But it was a rational decision.
Yeah, until
Right.
they shot that guy who's taking a piss behind the.
Well, listen, when you shake,
you shot Earl.
yeah, when you shake the bush, you know what that means, right?
You don't shake the bush when you're peeing.
Don't
No, you shake-
look at the.
You shake the bush when you're doing
When you're
number
being-
2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But you should be wearing an orange hat so that people know that you're.
I think isn't that from a movie? Isn't that from like an old Western movie or something?
I don't know.
Because like the prisoners, they have to when
You
the
sure it's
prisoners
not like
are
a
out.
truck stop thing.
No, when the prisoners are out, they have to go take a crap, and so the warden has to watch them. So they go behind the bush, and as long as they're shaking the bush, warden knows they're still there.
I think that was in Shawshank Redemption.
It's from a movie. It's from something.
Okay.
Anyways,
Maybe
You
Stand
shake
By Me?
yes. So all these guys drive up, and the guy's like, "Oh, let me just let him know I'm taking." He shakes the bush,
And then they blew him
and
away.
they blew him away.
They shot Earl.
It's such a shame.
Fucking Earl. The hell is he doing?
But anyway,
He's not even in the credits.
But no matter, I do
they
like
didn't have the budget to
uh,
actually show Earl.
Uncredited Earl.
I do really
Bush
like
shaker.
the idea that you get this vigilante group kind of worked up at a bar. That's a cool, like,
You know what was missing?
Element.
Them yelling "Evil dies tonight."
hey, some things take time.
This is true. Well, Tommy Doyle was not in this episode of the movies, but Lindsay was. The girl driving Rachel.
Yeah,
Her name was Lindsay,
I noticed that.
and Rachel mentioned that Jamie's mother used to babysit her.
Yes.
So I'm assuming Lindsay is that Lindsay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no Tommy.
No Tommy, but you get a Lindsay.
You get Lindsay, but it's not the Lindsay.
But it is the Lindsay. It's just not Umberto
actress.
Lindsay. It's just
Right.
a different actress.
Well, he didn't know him then.
He hadn't seen those yet.
He hadn't seen
Not
those.
until later.
Not until later. For our new listeners, go back and listen to all of our Halloween episodes.
Yeah. Dan has a field day.
Oh my
with a
god.
legend.
Hey.
Shit.
So the police force,
Yes, the police force.
were the police competent?
The
I don't
state
know,
police
man.
were. The local cops
the
needed a
sheriff
little help.
was.
See,
Sheriff
here's
Brackett
the
seems
yeah.
pretty
Here's
in-
the thing:
in
the
tune.
sheriff, right? When the sheriff is on board almost right away,
Yeah,
right?
because he was a kid when all that
And
shit
that was
went down.
another
Or a
decision.
teenager.
That was another decision that I thought, is this rational for the sheriff to be on board so quickly? But
But he lived through the first time.
yeah,
so
giving
he
Dr.
knows.
Loomis the time of day is probably not a bad,
Yeah.
it's not a poor decision. It's a good decision. And you find out quickly that Dr. Loomis is not.
If shit's gonna go down, I want that guy on my team.
What,
Sheriff
Loomis
Brackett
or
knew
the
what was
sheriff?
going on.
Yeah,
he
definitely.
he
No,
was
it's not
on.
Brackett. Brackett's retired. He's living in
Brackett's retired. Who's this guy? Taggart?
Meeker.
It's
Meeker.
It's
That's
Rosewood.
Right. Meeker. Rosewood. Taggart. Oh shit!
So
And Michael's not gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
no, absolutely not. Michael's gonna be.
Foley tried to get him to repeat that, but he doesn't talk or move. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Earl is in this credits. I just saw his name. It's
God.
Earl.
Oh, he is Gene Ross.
We skipped right over the Reverend Sayer, played by Old Man Withers or whatever from Wayne's World.
Yes. The Scooby-Doo ending. Remember the old guy, the preacher guy who was drinking and driving?
Yeah.
You're doomed. He was the You're Doomed guy,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
He's from Wayne's World. Doesn't he sing with them? Don't they sing something with him?
No, but I wish.
There's
that
a
would
movie
happen.
where he's I guess a drunk, and he's singing with somebody. Is it maybe? Oh, is it Pee-wee's Big Adventure? Yes, he's the guy on the train.
Oh, there you go.
Boom.
And
All right,
Wedding
he'll come up
Singer.
later.
He's in Wedding Singer too.
Yes.
I like going through his IMDb because literally every other role he played was either drunk or wino. On like every TGIF show, he was a wino
he's
or a
very
drunk.
good at it. Very good at it.
And in this movie, he's darn near young enough to play a high schooler. Guys, what is going on with the casting of especially the women in this movie? I mean,
yeah.
Kathleen Kinmont, gorgeous, but probably 35, if I was guessing.
Easily.
Let me go.
I think she was already married to Lorenzo Lamas by this time. Was she not?
Oh
She
my
was
God,
married to
yeah.
Lamas?
She was born in
Yeah.
65. So yeah, she's 33.
Yeah. She should have been in the originals.
Although, to be fair, I don't know. Do they actually establish that she is in high school, or is she just
No.
banging the dude? Because it could be a real
do
like
not.
New York Jets situation where
Yes.
it's his mom's friend or something, and he's just
I don't know. I mean,
She
she
could
still
be
lives with
running
her
the store.
dad, and her dad's still saying, don't be groping my daughter.
That's
It's-
true.
I mean, if your daughter's 33,
You know what? When your daughter's 33, you're probably still going to be saying that to guys.
well, Rachel.
Pri-
Rachel was like 35.
in real life?
Yeah, she was born in 63. So I'm not kidding, George. You could be a high schooler,
I could be.
and you'd
How
probably
old
be a
is-
more believable high schooler than either of them.
How old
Probably.
is Brady? Sasha Jensen.
Sasha Jensen. He
The poor man's Josh Brolin.
It doesn't say his date of birth on IMDb.
I think he was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That guy.
Yeah, he was Grueler. But yeah, it
He
doesn't
was,
say his date of birth on here.
He was, I think, motivated by some guilt.
Oh, he was born in
You know.
64. So he's like 32.
Okay.
30,
so it's like
34.
watching the movie Grease.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody's
32 years
35
old.
years old in this movie for
Yeah.
some reason.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
So-
but it was painful watching him die, man.
Yeah.
With a pocket full of shells and just not the ability to put it in the fucking barrel.
If he had a handgun,
It
he would
was-
have been fine.
Listen, if he had any kind of competence at all,
Yeah,
I mean,
you're not going to run up on him. He can't run. Myers can't run. You
Yeah,
could have stepped back.
Myers doesn't move.
No, he's a
So,
mannequin.
He doesn't want to mess up his collar.
That was painful.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about the new ones that I did like is the Myers is freaking sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll touch on that later.
Yeah,
Talk
but he
about
was in
jumping
that hallway
ahead.
in
Jesus.
that stairwell. Brady was giving it his all.
Yeah. Well, he's probably got a little bit of blue ball too, so I mean,
Yeah, probably.
that makes
Definitely
you
an
do crazy things.
escalation. If you remember our discussion of Halloween 2 and how after Halloween 1, Friday the 13th, Friday 2, very like teenage looking, natural looking women. And then Halloween 2 comes in and is just like, boom, Playboy
Busty.
model.
Yeah.
Like escalates things that are just different than they had been before.
Yeah.
And this is the evolution, right? Like we've gone from Halloween 2 to this. Just,
Well, you can thank all the Friday 13ths because
but the Friday the 13th never went fake boobs at this point. Like, think about,
yeah.
Friday 4, Friday 5, Friday 6 has no boobs, Friday 7. These are all like natural women. And then Halloween is just
Are you
like,
telling me
hey,
Kathleen Kinmont is not natural.
I'm just saying it looks like we've
I
pulled
think
from
she
the
is.
Skinamax stable
Okay.
for this one.
And you really don't see any boobs in this movie.
No,
It's-
it's a
kind
tease.
of imagine them.
It is a tease,
Yeah.
which is
definitely a
fine,
tease.
I have
Man.
no comment.
You have no comment.
I have no comment.
Can you imagine if we saw Myers' boobs? That would have been a payoff. Because he never gets naked in anything.
Oh, what
That's
a!
true.
I know it's not fair. We need
It's not
equity.
fair.
We need Michael Myers nudity equity.
Yes, we need like Kevin Bacon playing Michael Myers getting out of the shower. Good callback for people that probably didn't watch you didn't listen to the Wild Things episode, did you?
I don't recall.
He fell asleep, just like in the
Sleep
movie
20
every
minutes
time.
in. Ay,
His
vey.
fifth watch of Wild Things will go better.
Mm. So, how do you feel about Jamie Lloyd, Danielle Harris?
Who?
The kid. How
The
do
kid.
you like having a kid getting menaced by
Oh.
a grown man for a whole movie?
Oh, okay. I don't like that.
the abuse of
a
child.
a child being,
So it would have been
harassed by
okay
a
if
man.
she was, if it happened to Rachel.
No. What I'm saying is I don't like it, but I do like it because I don't like it. It makes for a good movie because I don't like it.
Okay.
A good horror movie.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. So that worked. I thought the child's performance was maybe the best child's performance I've ever seen in a horror movie.
Start introducing. This is her first role.
I thought she was incredible for a kid. How old was she?
Oh, she had to be like
11, 12? No, she was 73.
I mean, judging by this movie, she was probably 21.
she was like 11, yeah.
She's my age.
She
She's
was
2 years younger than me.
very, very good.
Yeah.
Throughout most of the movie.
I think in the beginning she was kind of. I think she was getting no direction. I think she was just reading. She was just saying the lines. But then, as she got into the emotional stuff, she was very good.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As she's getting chased by Michael Myers, she's
phenomenal.
She's insanely good.
But like the exchanges at the beginning, like
the lines, the exchange of lines are kind of awkward.
Right. It was almost like everything I always say. Like you have lines on the paper, you can say them. Go right ahead and say them. But if you don't feel them, then they sound like you're saying them.
Yeah, but
and
I thought
wasn't.
just when.
But she's a kid.
When she got into actually, I mean, there's all
no
kinds
Jamie,
of things about this movie that I didn't like, but the
Right.
child's acting was not one of them. That she was fine, totally
If
good.
this was not her first movie, I think if this was like her third, she would have nailed all those things.
Probably, yeah.
I've seen her in movies after this, not just Halloween. Like she's in The Last Boy Scout. She's in couple appearances on Roseanne. That's when I discovered like I liked her when she was on Roseanne because she was like maybe 15 or 16. And a couple other things, and then she was in the remake of Halloween. So it's like then you see her progress, and she's very good.
Yeah,
but she's pigeonholed. Like I've never seen her. After she kind of puts herself in the horror genre, I haven't seen her in anything else. So I'd like to see her do just regular drama. I think she just did an episode of Creepshow with Nicotero. So I'm going to see that.
Word.
See how she's
I have lots of problems with this movie, but her acting wasn't one of them.
Cool.
I do like that there was no like automatically jumping to nighttime all of a sudden in this movie. That was good. The way that what's her name lost the girl when they were trick-or-treating.
Rachel.
When Rachel loses, what's the little girl's name? Lindsay. Jamie. When Rachel loses Jamie, it's like a 10-second lapse. I'm like, how do you lose a kid that fast? But I'm like, okay.
Well, she was preoccupied with seeing her boyfriend boning some other chick.
I get that, but the conversation was like 10 seconds, and they only walked like next door.
I think they handled that in an 88 kind of way, where they showed the kids like finally happy to see her.
Yeah.
And they run off.
Yeah.
And then she keeps, like, they kind of show you that without really.
Yeah.
They make her run off. They don't make them just kind of walk away. Like, they run off. So it's.
No, they don't run off. They're trick-or-treating. Right. She's like, the one girl's like, come on, let's go. And she's like, okay.
So
and she just goes with the group.
Just went to a couple houses down.
Yeah, there's a whole group of kids walking together. How did you lose them?
Right. Like, we go trick-or-treating. We never lose our kids.
But okay. Yeah, and sometimes we are like blocks away from each other.
Yes, and we still find each other.
In Haddonfield.
So
it's very much like this when we go trick-or-treating.
It is very much like this.
It is. I'm not kidding. Anyway. How about the decision for every competent person in the house to leave? How about that?
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Loomis is like,
right back.
all right, I'm leaving. And I'm like, oh, great. And then the sheriff's like, I can't have people shooting Earls out there. I got to leave. I'm like,
right.
I mean, who's going to...
They left him with Sam Elliott, the Sam Elliott cop.
Okay.
Mike Schmidt.
Okay. But like, I want that girl with Loomis. That's
how cool is it that Myers impersonated the Sam Elliott character? He's in the rocking chair holding the gun.
Yeah.
That was
that's
pretty
good.
sweet. That was his shtick. He sat in the chair rocking with the gun in his hand, and Myers picked it up. It kind of what's funny is that's kind of Myers.
Yeah.
And they kind of he's a child.
Yeah.
And the thing in the original movie is he poses the bodies in scenes. He does things. So that's not what Jason does. Jason just collects people and puts them in a pile.
And he tends to disappear into the roles of other people, like Bob as the ghost.
Right.
Or that creepy hot tub guy in the second one.
Yeah. And they, to me, at least they kept that. So he is kind of Jason, but they kept the playfulness of him, or the creepy playfulness. So I was cool with that. But yes, everybody leaving kind of sucked.
It's interesting that, you're only on Halloween 4, and essentially you're only on the third Halloween with Michael Myers, and they're already so far up their own butt with regards to nostalgia that you're really breaking very little new ground just to make sure you hit all the same beats from the first one. I feel like the Jason movies didn't really start doing that until... Did they ever start doing that?
No, I guess not.
They always went for something new, and they hit some of the same points, but there's always so much new that it almost got too far from the original formula. This is just hey, you've got a checklist and a bingo card, and hit it.
Yeah. I didn't have this analogy back then because it didn't exist, but Halloween 4 is the J.J. Abrams version of Halloween.
Yeah.
He basically, when he did Star Wars A New, what's the one he did? Not The Last Jedi. Was it The Last Jedi?
J.J. Abrams.
No. A New Beginning or whatever the frick it was. He basically remade A New Hope with all new characters, but it's the same plot, the same points, the rescue, everything from the original Star Wars is in the sequel. And that's why everybody loved it, because it had that nostalgic feel of, we're just seeing this over again. Just the graphics are better. That's with this, the graphics aren't better. This is nowhere near the original. But at least it wasn't Halloween 3 for those of us that were fans of Myers.
Yeah.
And it was, for the time, a solid movie. A solid Jason-esque Michael Myers. It hit, like Dan said, it hit all the points. Minus seeing, some nudity. You didn't get any of that. But you got the Myers that you're used to. You got a cool little kind of, not a twist, but almost like a callback to Myers as a child.
Yeah.
And Jamie. And you get Donald Pleasance again. Although he's a caricature of himself by then.
At that point, yeah. Friend of the show.
And I don't know. The ending was kind of, I liked, we'll talk about that, but I like the ending.
Before we talk about the ending, I have just one more nitpick.
Do it.
Only one? Go on.
No, it's one nitpick that's going to encompass a lot of things. And Travis brought it up earlier with the nurse taking the blood pressure.
Yeah.
And you're like, why is she taking the blood pressure of a burn victim? Like,
right. And he's on the machine, and it's telling you.
Yeah,
his
exactly.
blood
So
pressure,
it's like this, just like this continuity, I guess. Just this just doesn't make sense.
I call it the ER effect.
There is lots of that.
Yes.
In this, in this movie, you see it again in the garage with the mechanic. The mechanic is using I'm no mechanic, but I know that that's an impact wrench.
Right.
What are you doing underneath of a car with an impact wrench? That's for tires.
Like the oil.
You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, this is painful to watch.
Yeah.
Again with what was his name? It was on his freaking hard hat.
Oh, Bucky. Yeah.
Bucky.
Hey, you.
Hard hats are a construction thing.
But he's an electric. You don't wear a hard hat?
In construction, okay. I do. When there's someone working over my head, I do, yes. But
dude, he's very important.
Dude, maybe he left his name tag at home, and that was the only way he could identify himself.
All right.
So
maybe he was on deck. I don't know.
So I'm like, okay, so he's wearing a hard hat, and I'm like, okay, I don't know exactly what he's doing here. So okay,
He seemed
but
authoritative though.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, so there's this power station that only one person is working at.
Well, it's the middle of the night
So
on
I'm like,
Halloween.
Okay,
A time and a half.
I mean, okay, I'm like, fine. And then I don't know. I don't know enough about the power stations and how they work. I don't think you would get lots of arc flashes from that. I think you just have one fried person.
But it looks good.
It does look good.
It needed an Arnold Schwarzenegger one-liner.
Yeah.
Like when he threw the knife in the guy in Predator and he stuck to the wall, he's like, stick it around. Like, I think Myers needed some kind of a thing to punctuate that moment. Like, you know how when
like something from Bad Boys.
What?
Like
I don't know, but you know how when Ghostface in Scream, when she's like, "Are you going to kill me, Mr. Ghostface?" and he's like nodding at her like, "Yes, I am." Like those little things. I don't know, that scene, if you're going to go all out and do the electrocution, the body toss, have the helmet with Bucky, like there's something missing from that scene that would be a smirk. I don't
You'd
need to
have
laugh.
to do like some kind of thing where like his electrocution somehow turns on a radio and there's a song playing that has some electric pun, something like that. Because you can't have Myers, smile and say something.
Right. No, you can't. But it's like, to me,
I mean, I guess you could, but
like, I don't know if we're gonna watch the movie Christine, but they kind of do that with music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The car plays certain songs.
Yeah.
And it just makes sense, and it's makes you smirk, but you don't laugh. It's not a laugh moment, but it's like a I see you kind of thing. Like, yeah, I was thinking that.
A sign that someone thought about it for a moment.
Yeah.
Came up with a conclusion.
They do it like 10 times in Scream, and I love it.
Yeah. And then the last point of just there's lots of clumsy things.
Oh yeah.
Like the couple of examples I just mentioned. There's lots more of that, but the one that really, really, really stands out to me is the firearms. Guns are just.
You mean the
bad.
semi-automatic Spaz 12 shotgun that's just shooting like burst fire for some reason at the end?
It's just bad.
I couldn't get over
every
that.
single, even when poor Earl lost his life, that was bad. And I don't know what it was, like just the Ed 209 kind of feel that I had. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Everyone knows what I need.
Yeah.
I mean, and
the
then
fact that you made a RoboCop reference makes me smile.
But
nice.
It's
I
working.
Do my best. And but then also just the effect itself. It's like there's firecrackers, coming out of the guns, and they're all clumsy and they're all pointed in different directions. It's like, like I wanted to like gouge my eyes out.
That sticks out the most at the end.
Well, and I kept trying to think like
blown up.
They had to do so much work to get that shotgun to fire, basically like a rapid fire Roman candle. It had to be jammed inside that gun to get it to spark that fast and that frequently without him doing anything to actually operate the firearm. And I was like, man, a whole lot of work going into just a shit execution.
Yeah.
Very strange. I will say though, the end of this movie, that not the end, but the conclusion with Myers and the guns, I love that. I loved it as a teenager because my dad was a state trooper, and I always kind of thought I would be a state trooper at some point. Didn't work out that way, but I mean, we had those state trooper cars that come zooming in. We had one of those in my driveway my whole childhood. So to see like my guys come in at the end and just kick some ass is always like, yeah, it's like you want to stand up and clap like in Air Force One. Like
it was like the end of Shaun of the Dead when the military finally shows up.
Yeah, you're just like, yeah, man, there's our guys. Everything's gonna be fine.
Things are gonna be good.
So my bias always comes in. Like I usually hate the first hour of this movie, and I'm like, oh, here's my part, and that was my part.
I didn't know you hated the first hour of this movie.
How did Michael Myers get on the bottom of that pickup truck?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't hate it like I hate. Let me qualify that. This movie sucks, but it's a Halloween movie, and so I watch it like at least once a year.
Yeah.
Didn't the
But it's
the pickup
definitely
truck
like
have a rear view mirror?
I don't know. It's
You know, because the whole exchange, like the whole scene, there's 3 guys in the back of the pickup truck. Myers takes out the first one. The other 2 are just looking straight ahead.
At least he was moving.
You gotta love the part
True.
where she dumps that body while they're driving. Just shoves that guy out of the truck and keeps going. That's pretty cool.
Dude, I thought the same thing.
Total disregard.
Well, I thought the same thing about like it. That was another part where I thought, is this a rational decision? And I came to the conclusion that dumping that dead dude on the side of the road is a rational decision.
Go get him
right now.
later.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what's he worth? I mean, you're all gonna die if you don't shove him out the side of the car
Word.
and take over.
I hear you.
It was really clutch that she knows how to drive stick.
Mm-hmm. No pun intended.
Pun intended.
Oh, pun intended.
Pun intended.
Nice.
It was really clutch that
Check
she
2
knew how
off
to
the
do
bingo.
that. But yeah, I'd have shoved that dude out for sure.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do.
It's
I
an
like-
Indiana Jones reference when she did that. Like in every Indiana Jones movie, someone dies behind the wheel of a car, and,
Yeah.
and Indy always has to push him out of the car.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think I like really competent people going up against really hard to kill serial killers.
Mm.
That's like I don't know, something of mine that I like. You don't get to see it enough.
Well,
you
and
know,
it's a
mostly
straight line
just-
between this movie and The Fugitive, which I bet when we went into this, you didn't think there'd be a lot of parallels between The Fugitive
There's a lot
and
of fugitive
Halloween
in this
4.
movie.
Yeah, it's true.
There is a lot in this movie. When I was watching it, I was like, "Oh my god, why did we do a whole episode of how The Fugitive is Halloween 4?"
It's really strange. Before we get to the end of the movie, guys, couple of weird things. The music in this movie is both like fun and also kind of just a rehash over and over again.
Yeah.
But it's Alan Howarth, which is like the right-hand man of John Carpenter, so it's like in the family. So it's like an authorized cover, kind of.
Yeah.
Doesn't do a whole lot of new stuff, though.
I remember watching this and being very excited about the opening credits, like that somber build-up of the theme.
I'm just glad
And
it's
they
not the
never
synth
played it.
version from Halloween 2, after having
Yeah.
to hear that this week.
Woof.
And
And can I tell you, I own the novelization of this movie.
Oh, I do too. Do you have the new version or the old one?
The old one, the paperback, I
Ooh.
bought it at the Pathmark, whatever shopping
Oh my
center.
god, it's a blast from the past.
Yeah. I remember it was in the 99-cent section. It had
Oh, dude, you could probably get like $50 for that now.
I could probably get $200 for it. Yeah, it's worth a lot of money. It's got a Myers on the front. Like it's the Dick Warlock Myers on the front. And I bought it for that. I never read it. I tried to read it. Actually, I did read some of it, and some of it there's more detail in the book than the movie, so actually there is some good stuff in there.
And they actually
But-
reissued that one recently. They haven't
Yes.
reissued any of the other one. But part 4 you can get. So I have the new version. I'm kind of jealous I don't have the old one.
Yeah, I'll have to send you a picture for
Ugh.
YouTube of this.
But yeah, I haven't
It's
read the
pretty cool.
reissue either. It's sitting there asking me to, but I just haven't got around to it. I don't know that it would add anything that I need.
I think this is one of those cases where the book has to be better. You know?
Probably.
I mean,
It's not like Jurassic Park where many more things happen in the book than in the movie, where you're
Yeah.
like, holy shit, you got to read the book.
I gotta see how they describe the people, like the teens. It would be
Yeah.
really funny if they were like,
35.
she's been
scruffy.
held back for 15 years, but she's gonna graduate this year. She thinks.
She left school to have 3 kids and came back. Yeah. She actually was going to graduate with Laurie Strode, but she took some time off.
Oh my god, what a weird movie
Brutal.
this was. Hey, one weird thing, George, you might have noticed in the credits that the special effects for this movie were done by a guy named John Carl Beekler. Does that name ring a
Beekler?
bell?
I didn't notice that. Should Beekler ring a bell?
He directed Friday 7.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
So like immediately before this, he did a Jason movie, and then he did the special effects here. Which, when you think about that, really the effects in this movie are both good, but also kind of restrained for him.
Yeah.
Like, he's a guy who goes way over the top a lot of times. I mean, if you've ever seen his work, even back in, like, The Prey, back from 83.
Yeah.
Like, over the top. So
the ambulance was where he kind of left his DNA, I guess.
Yeah, he left a lot of people's DNA on that ambulance. And the police station.
Was pretty subtle.
But yeah, for him, very subtle. Very, very subtle. No weed whackers.
When he's killing Brady, he probably could have popped his eyeballs out if he wanted to.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have.
I mean, that's the thing, though, right? Because this is the weed whacker guy. So it's interesting.
Brady's head, he's the weed whacker guy, but
he is the weed whacker
Brady's
guy.
head did crush in like a really satisfying way.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah. Dude knows what he's doing.
He does.
Rest in peace.
Oh.
We lost him back in 2019. But his work
that's a shame.
lives on.
Dude knew what he was doing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. That moment was kind of like a what's the one kill in part 3 that we all agreed was the best part of the movie? The Steve out, the silent Steve.
Reverse luge?
No. That wasn't.
Oh, when he's holding back the Paul.
The hand walker?
And she's like right there, like,
walking
Paul,
on his
where
hands?
are you?
No, like
I miss
she's like
you. I'm
looking out
horny.
the door, looking. Christy's looking for.
Yes, and right around the corner of the building, he's got him. Yeah.
That's the Brady moment.
Yeah.
But they could have easily. I mean, we're talking about the guy that did the Jason slamming the girl in the sleeping bag up against the tree. Brady could have met a better death, but it wasn't too bad.
Well, and they didn't have to worry about the MPAA coming in and being like, that's one too many swings,
Yeah.
Very much like the Key and Peele sketch with Hingle McRingleberry and one too many pelvic thrusts. The MPAA of the 80s was like, you can have 2 swings, but if you swing that sleeping bag a 3rd time, we're throwing the flag.
So then he just did it 7 times, so they would give him 4.
That's right. That's the negotiation.
Genius.
Right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. What a weird
Holy
world.
shit.
What a weird world.
I like this movie. I don't care what you say.
So some stuff happens at the very end of this movie, George. I don't know if you made it to the end of this one, but some stuff happens.
It was better than Wild Things.
And I have to. It actually is funny. Yeah, you made it through this one with no trouble. So better than Wild Things.
Better than Wild Things.
Question for you. Was Jamie's turn at the end of this movie a bit of self-preservation? Because that bath that her adopted mother, or whoever that lady is, drew was full bore, like the hot with no cold. Like that would have scalded that kid. So was she like, hey, don't put me in that bath or I will stab you with scissors?
He's going with that.
I'm just going to stab you with these scissors. That's what
I did notice that. Again, it's
hot
lots
water.
of clumsy shit in this movie. She just turns the hot all the way on.
140 degrees. I mean, she's going to sous vide the kid.
Yeah.
Not good.
Might not even be the first time. Maybe she was just fed up.
There you go. She's had enough of being cooked. I don't like the stuff early in the movie where she like sees herself and then sees kid Michael. Ugh. I don't like that stuff. And so then for them to do this at the end, it's a head scratcher for me, but it does raise the question. 2 questions. It raises 2 questions, George. First, is this a sequel or is this a reboot? And you don't have to answer that, but it does raise the question. Like all of a sudden you've got like...
No, it doesn't.
It brings us back to the beginning of the Michael Myers thing, and you've got a new protege, I guess.
I guess the next movie would be the reboot, right?
Can I inject a little wisdom here?
Sure.
Because I grew up watching this...
Because you're old. Go on.
Because I'm old. The... juxtaposition didn't bother me and still doesn't, and this is why. It is happening in her head, and it's not a transformation at that point. It's been put in her head that she is the niece of the boogeyman.
Mm-hmm.
Are you blaming her classmates for this murder?
The kids say it.
Mm-hmm.
Her sister, her stepsister, or whatever, her foster sister says it. She's well aware that both her parents are dead, and her mother was stalked by this man.
Mm-hmm.
She knows of Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been different if she was kept in the dark, and all of a sudden she started having these visions.
Oh, I
as
see.
Michael
So you're
Myers.
saying that she was like a victim of suggestion rather than
power suggestion. Yes, that's how I was taking it.
Oh.
They were telling her, "You are the boogeyman's niece." So she's almost assuming these visions based on the fact that he's going to come get me because he went after my mother. So all those things didn't bother me, but I know what you're saying, but it wasn't to me a Tommy Jason transformation. Like, she made it happen by her own brain creating it.
Okay,
From suggestion.
when it happened, the immediate first thought I had was, they gave me the Tommy Jason I didn't want.
Okay.
Once
Right?
again,
An
once again,
11-year-old
you got
kid.
another version of Tommy Jason that you didn't want.
They gave me Tommy
His
Jason,
daughter in 4 years. He does not want to see that.
and I don't like it.
Right.
I think I didn't like it because the way I perceived it was the moment that she had with her uncle just before
When
he
she grabbed his hand.
went to hell.
It's just a well.
No, he went to hell.
Okay.
Just like just like someone else
Jason
we know.
did? Okay.
I perceived it as that her interaction with him was like, that's when she realized that was her destiny. And that he was just misunderstood, and she is also misunderstood, so she's going to kill people too, just like her uncle. And that decision, that snap decision, I don't like.
So where
Yeah,
do we
I
go
never thought
from
of it that
here?
way.
What's Halloween 5, George? What's going to happen?
Before we talk about that,
Oh,
He wants to thank our listeners.
no, I want to talk about the shot of the camera shot of the camera putting on the mask and grabbing the scissors,
Yeah.
right?
Great callback.
Was it?
Well, an attempt. Let's put it that way. An attempt.
It was
It
a
was an
callback,
attempt.
but was it
It
great?
It was an attempt.
Like I said, J.J. Abrams' version of Halloween. Like I said.
All right, I'm done complaining about this movie. What was the question? What happens in Halloween 5?
Yeah, I mean, we just had the part where Loomis and then the cop both point a firearm at a child,
Mm-hmm.
and then the movie ends kind of abruptly. So what is Halloween 5 going to give us?
I imagine that 20 years later, 15 years later, Lindsay is being transferred for some reason.
Lindsay.
Jamie.
Jamie is
Right.
being transferred from her
Having her blood pressure taken.
They take her blood pressure. They transfer her for some reason.
Right.
And she wreaks havoc on Halloween or Haddonfield, and she is searching for her stepsister.
Okay.
I don't know.
Or she's looking for a copy of Austin Powers.
Oh, behave.
Or we find out that Jamie Lee Curtis Laurie Strode had more than one child,
Okay.
and she goes after her.
Well, she did have a child in H2O.
Right, which does exist after this movie. So depending on how you read the continuity, either 4, 5, and 6 never happened, and 7 H2O is the direct sequel to Halloween 2 because of undoing all these movies,
It's getting very
or
complicated.
she faked her death and abandoned her child to the clutches of Michael Myers, meanwhile making a nice, comfy life in California.
Right.
So keep that in the back of your mind as we watch the next couple movies, because that's hysterical.
There you go.
We're trying to tear down Jamie Lee Curtis for you.
Yes. So I'm gonna go with ultimately what's going to happen is whatever the studio thinks is going to make the most money.
So he's going to space.
Probably.
Michael Myers in space. Hey, so
Robot
what is
Myers.
going to happen next week, guys? We're going to have a special guest We're having Megan on, Mini Megs on Twitch. That's Mini_Megs with a Z.
Okay.
She's a variety streamer, focuses a lot on Nintendo games, but she's also funnier than us. And so I'm looking forward to having someone on the show who knows how to make people laugh. And as a special bonus, she has never seen any of the Halloween movies. And so we're going to have a little social experiment. We're going to introduce Megan to the Halloween franchise via what is clearly going to be the high point of the franchise, Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. And I'm going to leave it to George to catch her up on what the fuck is happening.
Oh my God, this is going to be great.
Yeah, you're going to explain the whole thing to her because I'm out.
I'm interested to know if she even recognizes, and I hope she doesn't listen to this before she records with us, but I'm interested to see if she even recognizes Halloween 5 as a film or if it's just a confusing series of images because we're so far into this continuity. Are they going to give us enough exposition? Or is it going to be Mortal Kombat Annihilation and stuff just pops up? I can't wait.
Hopefully they have one of those cool opening credit montages with a bulletin board of information.
Or
a
or really, really good Patton Oswalt type cop who just catches us up on everything we've missed.
Yeah, this one's a real mean one.
Oh,
this should
goodness.
be fun.
Spoiler alert. I haven't even taken the shrink wrap off of Halloween 5 that I bought last year. Because I bought it from... Actually, I waited till it was on sale. I bought the other 4Ks right away. And then I waited till it was cheaper and then bought Halloween 5 and never opened it. So I look forward to breaking that one out.
It actually has a lot of moments.
It sounds like it's going to be a great movie.
It's going to be a fun episode.
You know what's funny?
It's going to be better than Resurrection.
You know what's funny about these movies is they're all, I don't know, they're mostly terrible, but for some reason we have the best conversations about them
because they're bad, but they're made to. I don't want to say they're made to be bad, but there's a formula that just makes them all good watches.
Yeah,
when they suck.
Generally, they know what they are.
Yeah,
and so they don't try to do things that don't really fit the scheme, or they decide to try something grandiose and they just fail, and that's fun too.
Yeah, I equate it to somebody who's never seen a horror movie, and then you sit them down and you make them watch Shaun of the Dead, or you make them watch Evil Dead, or American Werewolf, and American Werewolf. They're not gonna get
the American Werewolf.
They're not gonna understand why it's good, why the satire is good, and why it's funny, and all the nostalgia and everything behind it. That's what we're gonna experience next week because someone who's never seen a Halloween movie.
It's like watching Scream.
It's like watching Stab, which is the Scream movie inside of Scream 2. Without having any reference to Scream. It's like it's gonna be a train wreck that I cannot wait.
Well, and here's the thing, guys. I'm the guy who in 5th grade, I think, I watched Friday the 13th Part 8, taped off USA Networks while the boobies and blood was cut out.
And commercials.
And that's how I became a fan of the franchise, and I worked my way back.
Right.
So maybe we'll make a fan of Michael Myers out of a Halloween 5 first-time watcher.
Well, here's going to be the agreement. If it comes to be a very good episode and we get a lot out for her, we need to have her come back after she watches the original Halloween. And then see what she says.
Dude, I honestly think it's a shame that she hasn't seen Halloween, the first Halloween.
Right.
The Halloween, because that is just be all end all.
Yeah,
and last week Dan was talking about how it's the best movie he thinks we've done on the podcast, Halloween, and maybe the best movie. What did you say, Dan? It was your favorite movie of all time, or the
well,
best
it may
movie?
just be the best movie, and I have a lot of reasons that I will discuss when you bring me your top 10 lists
It's
as
very
to why
good.
it is the best.
When I watched it again this week, it is very good.
It's near perfect.
I really like it.
Minus the palm tree.
It's
But-
And
the
Annie's
Pasadena
performance.
walls.
And the Pasadena wall.
I like the Pasadena thin walls. I just don't like the, cardboard performance of Annie in a lot of the scenes.
We love Annie, friend of the show.
Poor Annie.
Poor Annie. Poor Annie.
And when I think what was the kill in the car? You said it was like the director's wife or something.
Yeah, that's Annie. She's like the costumer's wife. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right. So
Nancy Loomis, I think her name is.
Yep. It was at the time. She's remarried.
At the time, yeah.
So watching that kill again this week,
yeah,
it was much worse than I remember.
She really gets
It's her
throttled.
best performance. It is her best performance. I really honestly think that Nick Castle did not like her and he really strangled her.
I mean, we could ask him next time he's on Cameo.
We gotta have him on. We'll ask him about it. Definitely.
Oh my gosh.
Definitely.
That's so
It's
funny.
like, this bitch cannot act. Actually, choke her, please.
Hey, and while we're talking about Cameo, I feel like we really were ahead of the news this week for the first time ever. We've been recording a little bit more quick turnaround than normal, but that Sean Cunningham stuff was all over Twitter this week along with our episode. So for once, we were like right on the cusp of a breaking story, and then radio silence from New Line after a couple of teases. So I'm hoping October of 23, when we have a Friday the 13th, I'm hoping we have a new Jason movie to go watch. Hey, to our listeners, I'm going to thank you before George has a chance to, and I'm going to tell you, hey, you've got a week here. Go get on Twitch, look up Minnie, MINI _ Megs, MEGZ, and watch her play Nintendo games and be funnier than us. And then look forward to her and what horrible things we're going to put her through next week, making her watch Halloween 5, The Revenge of Mikey Myers.
He says wolf.
I'm not saying wolf because I hate the movie. I'm saying wolf because I feel bad for her that this is her first Myers.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be
We should
real
show
fun.
her Halloween 3 and tell her it's a Michael Myers movie. And she'll be like, wait, who's Michael Myers? One of the robots.
Yeah, it's that robot with the big bulby
The
head.
robot. The bulby head. Hey, friend of the show. He actually, I just met him.
Yeah, Dickie W.
Dickie W.
Well, thank you, listeners.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Tell a friend.
We appreciate your time. And we hope you were entertained. Until next week.
We don't have a sign-off song.
I'll be George signing off.
This is the last survivor of the Nostromo.
10-4.
10-4.
Over and out.
10-4. Okay, over and out.
Oh, you shot Earl.
Over.
That'll be our sign-off. Ah, shit, you shot Earl.
Play that Dixie Chicks song.
Goodbye,
Earl had to die. Goodbye, Earl.
Goodbye, Earl. Special boy.
Oh, I love September and October. These are the best months. Weather gets better. Movies get gorier. It's great. Thank you for joining us on the Remedial Film Class Podcast. As always, you can find us at facebook.com/remedialfilmpod. We'll be back next week with Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers.